Back in the grand old year of 2020, we had the release of the first Sonic movie, and despite all signs telling us that the movie was going to be utter crap, it ended up turning out pretty decently, and not only led to the Sonic movies turning into a trilogy with a fourth movie on the way, but it also led to the Sonic franchise having a massive resurgence. Due to this one movie, the Sonic franchise has been having win after win, and it's amazing to see. So I thought I would rank every single Sonic movie, including the OVA, to add a bit of extra variety. So let's get right into it. Starting off, we have the first Sonic movie. This movie is interesting, to say the least. To rip the band-aid off right away, this is not a Sonic movie. The only thing Sonic about this movie is Sonic himself, and even then, Sonic isn't really anything like he's characterized in the games. However, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Sonic has had multiple different characterizations, whether it's in the many different TV shows, the games, the OVA, the multiple different comic runs that span hundreds of issues. So a different characterization of Sonic isn't necessarily a bad thing, and I've quickly gotten used to the different takes on Sonic, and I've come to appreciate it. However, aside from the action scenes, it's basically just a generic kids movie. However, this whole movie was worth it, because it would end up leading to Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was a pretty solid movie. This one added a lot more elements from the games. We got Knuckles, the Master Emerald, and Chaos Emeralds, a snowboarding scene akin to Ice Cap, the Death Egg Robot, and Super Sonic. There were a lot of cool things added from the games to make it feel more like a Sonic movie, without making it just feel like a reference fest. However, there are plenty of problems that hold this movie back. For one, there's not enough Sonic music. I have made a whole video about this, but Sonic has some of the best music in any video game. Yet instead of adding music from Sonic, they'll sample a track from freaking Ant-Man. And on top of that, the human segments of this movie are the most egregious of the entire trilogy. However, I don't think you need me to be the internet user 594 telling you why the wedding scene sucks. However, my biggest problem with the movie was Tails' characterization. If you don't know, Tails is my favorite Sonic character. However, instead of including what makes him unique in this movie, they just made him the biggest Sonic glazer of all time. The amount of screen time Tails has glazing Sonic is more screen time than Knuckles has in his own show. However, despite all of my flaws with this movie, I still think it's a pretty good step up from the first, and that shadow tease at the end really got me hyped for the next movie. Next up, we have the Sonic OVA, or just called Sonic the Hedgehog. This movie is interesting because unlike most video game movies at the time, this one was fully animated. And on top of that, this was way back before modern Sonic. So we have completely different voice acting, completely different characterization, a completely different world, and it's all animated very close to Sonic CD's animated cutscenes. The animation in this movie is really good and honestly looks on par, and in some cases surpasses the Sonic movies, which is kind of insane. On top of that, the plot is pretty solid. We get to see Sonic's rivalry with Metal Sonic, along with seeing Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles team up. There are so many great moments in this movie. Whether it's Sonic flipping off one of Eggman's robots, Knuckles' awesome hat, or "You might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you since I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it?" Everyone's characterization of this movie, while not being exactly the same as the games, or even interpretations of the characters, is still pretty solid, and I enjoy it quite a bit. It's a pretty solid watch all around. However, it pales in comparison to the greatest Sonic movie. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is easily the pinnacle of the movie franchise. Shadow's introduction to the movie series was done in the best way possible. His backstory with Maria and Gun was absolutely amazing, and it actually got me to feel something. Team Sonic is back and better than ever, with Tails actually being more in line with his characterization in the games. They actually end up using video game music with Live and Learn being used a ton throughout the movie, and Escape from the City motif being used, Sonic Mania Victory music, Sonic Adventure 2 credits music. The CGI is the best in the series so far, with the fight scenes being absolute eye candy. The third act of this movie goes absolutely hard. Super Sonic versus Super Shadow is one of the best things I've ever watched. Then their subsequent team up with the hardest dap up known to man, with Live and Learn blasting. The final part where Tails and Knuckles save Sonic as he's falling towards Earth, while Shadow and Eggman sacrifice themselves. On a real note, I genuinely almost cried to Shadow's sacrifice at the end of the movie. The music, the flashbacks, it genuinely almost got me. The only thing stopping me was the fact that I was watching the movie with my friends, and I know they would never let me live that down. But genuinely, there's not that many problems I personally have with the film as a huge Sonic fan. I think the only problem is that I didn't get to see Maria get shot on the big screen. 0 out of 10. So yeah, that's my ranking of the Sonic movies. The Sonic movie franchise has easily kept impressing me the more and more it goes on. So hopefully, Sonic Movie 4 keeps this train going. Anyways, why don't you guys tell me your own personal ranking down in the comments, and that's all from me. Peace.